Beautiful. So, welcome everyone, familiar faces and less familiar faces. We're going to be talking today and exploring how to feel at home in who you are, which is a really beautiful topic. And I think we've really been building into it. I've been running these workshops since March and really enjoying them, looking at the soul contract energies and sort of deeper themes running onto the surface of why we can sometimes just feel a bit out of place on earth and in our bodies and in this incarnation. And my aim and my intention for these workshops is always just to have a really joyful, uplifting time together. And I am a very chatty Kathy, so I really encourage you at any point, please ask questions. You don't even need to put your hand up, just jump on in. And if you've got anything you want to ask about, anything you want to share, because love to hear other people's experiences. And I think, yeah, if you need to dive off, go to the loo, look after a cat, absolutely fine. I'm going to record it anyway. And I always just love to start, yes, with my intention. And my intention is for you guys just to have a really uplifted, joyful transmission of what I'm going to share with you today. And leave here feeling a little bit lighter and a little bit more settled in who you are. So I always start with a little introduction. Everyone kind of knows me. Sarah, have we met before? Your face looks very familiar. No, we haven't. Okay. So I'll give you a very short introduction. My name is Antonia. I'm based in the UK in Cambridge, and I love to help. Yeah, I love to help people feel more at home in who they are. That's basically, I think, my tagline in my work. And the way I do that is I really believe that the more we understand ourselves and the more self-awareness we have, the deeper we can fall out of self-judgment and into self-compassion. Like, okay, I get why I've struggled. I get why that's been so hard. And then with that lovely compassion, it creates freedom. And I think we're all wanting to feel at peace with who we are. I mean, we all say on the surface, I want to fall in love and I want more money and I want to find my purpose. But ultimately, all those things create is peace. And I think ultimately that's what all of you guys are after as well, like me. And the way I love to work with people is through helping them understand the contract their soul incarnated with, which is to do with their birth name, which they chose. We all chose it. And to look under the surface to see what beliefs and conditioning and programming live in the subconscious that are stopping you remembering who you are and stepping into your sovereignty and your power. And that is where the divine healing is going to come in towards the end of today. We're going to do a nice chunky group healing session. And I don't know what's going to come up. It could be a lovely grounding practice. It could be clearing a self-sabotage. It could be working through a fear, or it could be something completely off the beaten track. Again, I have no control. We just go with the flow with divine healing. And that's kind of it. And I run these workshops because I have sevens in my soul contract, and sevens are all about connecting people with what they're seeking. And I'm seeking it as well. So sometimes by walking the path, you can also help others walk it with you side by side. And I love to connect with people. I work online, I work on my own. So this is very joyful for me. So I also would love to hear if anyone would be open to share, and maybe what drew them to this workshop, maybe what their intention is. You don't have to if you don't feel comfortable. But it helps me get a little bit of an understanding, a little bit of context of why people are here and really what they're seeking. That would be really helpful for me. But again, there's no pressure. But if anyone would like to share just a brief, oh, Sarah's already unmuted. She's ready.
So obviously just this past week I've stumbled upon you on Instagram, I think. So started following you and then saw that this was happening. I did a soul contract analysis last year, so I've been sitting with that for about a year now. Yeah, I'm sure that's a year. Oh yeah, over a year now. So March last year I did one. And yeah, I know that I'm not I'm not fulfilling what I'm really here for. And I felt that before this happened anyway. I did feel that I've got a stronger purpose. I don't really know what that is. But I do know that I've got a lot of karma that I've had to work through, that I'm currently working through. So I was really interested to jump on this call really with yourself and delve a bit deeper into that, I think.
Beautiful. That's such good timing as well. I love that. You saw it and you jumped. Perfect timing. We trust the timing of these things.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so very excited to be here. So thank you.
Beautiful. My pleasure. And what I tend to do, because the live workshops always just have a lovely, small, intimate kind of group feel. If you are comfortable, we can look at your chart together and have a little dive into it. I tend to do that if people are open to it. Because sometimes the themes that come up in the workshop are really connected to what's going on in your soul contract, which is normally why you're here. So if anyone is happy for me to, I know I've looked at you guys as well, but we're going to look at them again. Just pop your birth certificate name in the chat and I will put it in my little software, and at some point we'll jump into them. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Welcome, welcome. And who else would like to share? Yes, Leilani.
Hi everyone. Good to be here. Yeah, I went to the last workshop with Antonia. It was incredible. And with that one, the title just jumped out at me. And I was just like, I have to go to this. Very similar here. I saw like feeling at home in your body, and I was like, I need that. I've been going through such a huge transition period these past few years. I feel like I blinked and my life is completely different now. I've moved to a new city, new career, breakup, just all sorts of things. And I definitely feel very ungrounded. I don't know where my life is heading. I know it's heading somewhere, but I just feel so lost right now. And so I feel like just having something like this could be really helpful for me.
Okay, beautiful. So a little bit of grounding. Yeah. And for you, Sarah, a little bit of clarity, maybe. Beautiful. Perfect. It's lovely to have you back here. It's always a joy to see friendly faces because, believe it or not, I do actually get quite nervous before I put workshops on. About half an hour before, I'm like, oh, I feel a bit nauseous, and I always love them and I enjoy them so much, but I still get nervous. Okay, who else would like to? Melina, you're unmuted already, so you're ready to go.
So where you said being at peace with yourself, I mean, that really resonates with me. And I find I get caught up in all the things I have to do in the future, all the future things. And actually, the most important thing is to be present and to be at peace now. And I keep getting that and I keep getting caught up. So I think for me, that's um, that's quite relevant.
Yeah, so peace and presence. Beautiful. Well, it might be that we do quite a nice juicy perfect, thanks, Erica. And I've got the other names as well. Might be we do quite a nice juicy grounding healing with this. What I'm kind of picking up from you guys might be quite ready for that. Okay, beautiful. Lovely to have you here as always, Melina. Very joyful. Okay. Lynn.
Sure. Hi. Well, I'm a little bit like Leilani. Like I really, really loved your last workshop and I discovered you at that point. And I just thought, okay, I just wish to join because it's just such a beautiful energy and it literally nourishes us, I find. So I'm just really open. I love everything about the soul, everything. So, and you have a beautiful way of explaining.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. And I will add that it's actually the people, it's you guys that make the energy of this group 100%. And I always find I tend to work with very similar people to me. So we're all just little mirrors for each other in this, but that's very lovely of you to say. And very, very welcome in this space, Lynn. It's lovely to have you here. So let's see what comes up for you today. And then Erica, you're welcome to share or you're welcome to stay to stay on mute. It's whatever feels comfortable for you. You can just pop it in the chat, whatever you want to do. You can just type hi or I'm here, but I'm not here. Otherwise, I think we'll get started. Okay, so I've got everyone's names, I think. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And yes, Melina, you can put yours in if you want to. You don't have to at all. Okay, so what we'll do, let's just get stuck into it. Let's get stuck into the fun. So yeah, this workshop, How to Feel at Home and Who You Are, was kind of created from my work, which is, I think I've got to the point where I'm like, I love to help people feel at home and who they are. And the reason that we don't is what we're going to explore. We're going to explore that in the workshop today. Okay, great, Melina, I've got your name as well. And as I said, I think it's a really, really big thing. And I think the more we move into our spiritual journey, which really is just recognizing that we are spirit having a human existence, the less we can feel at home on earth. But we might have had this feeling for a really, really long time. And it's not just feeling not at home on earth, but it's also not feeling at home in our bodies and in our physical vessels that we're inhabiting. So we're going to look at this from kind of 2 different angles. So let's get stuck into it. So I always like to do a little bit of a meme hunt before we go into the workshop, because I personally love a meme. And a big theme is fitting in versus belonging. And I think a lot of us try to belong by fitting in, but ultimately that is sort of the backwards way around. And you know what? I woke up this morning having had yet another dream of being at school. I went to a boarding school, and the dream was all of my old school friends, people I lived with for like 5 years I didn't particularly get on with. And I thought it was a really interesting dream to have. I thought, Mom, I'm still dreaming about going to school and I'm 36. But I think a lot of us have those experiences of going to school and not feeling like we fit in at school, not feeling like we belong in our families as well. That's a really, really big one. We're going to talk about that. And sometimes I pick this one because sometimes we don't feel fully human. And often, and I think maybe there's one walk-in here, we can be a walk-in. And what this means is a walk-in is a soul that decides to step into a body that already has a soul. And this is going quite deep quite quickly. But walk-ins can feel really like aliens on earth. Like, wait, I just came into this body and I want to get on with my mission. I want to do what I came here to do. But I don't really know who I am. I feel like an alien. And lots of people do really resonate with that. Like, why have I come to earth? And even if we're not a walk-in, like a soul walking in to a being, we can still have that feeling. It's a really strong one. Also, the deeper we go on our spiritual journey, the deeper we recognize and wake up to the truth of who we are, multidimensional masters, the more we can feel like we just cannot conform. So like that movie, The Matrix, which is, gotta say, one of my favorites, we see everyone else going about their lives, but it almost feels like we are witnessing life, but we're not part of life. And we're going to go a little bit deeper into that as well. I've heard people describe this as seeing other people living through a plane of glass. So it's like a plane of glass and everyone else is living there and you're living here, and it can feel very disorientating. And then, of course, how it feels trying to blend into society when you're really waking up to your true multidimensional self. And this is not fitting in, but blending in. How do we carry on living? How do we enjoy life? How do we create heaven on earth, which is ultimately what we're actually here to do? How do we have more love and peace in our lives when we feel so different? So we're really going to dive into the energetic blueprint within the soul contract that does drive these feelings. And we're going to go quite deep into this because there's quite a few different energies that are playing a role in this. And this is why we're going to look at your charts and see what's playing out. And then, as always, what happens if, instead of judging ourselves and blaming ourselves, or feeling like a victim, or attacking ourselves and living in regret or in fear, what happens if we bring that lovely sense of awareness and compassion? Oh, I get it now. I get why I've been feeling this way. What would happen if we came into that state of being? How would it change us and transform us emotionally, energetically, mentally, spiritually? And how would that feel? Because that's ultimately where we're really trying to get to. So I've got two themes here. I don't feel at home within myself, and I don't feel at home on earth. And I just want little raise of hands. Who feels I don't feel at home within myself? Does that one connect with anyone? Does this one connect? I don't feel at home on earth. Yeah. Yeah. Did you want to share, Leilani? Oh, no, you
No, that was automatic.
We're going to go through both of them because on the surface, you might feel one, and then underneath, there might be a different feeling. So we're going to go through both of them because this is how I interpreted this workshop. And I always trust my interpretation, and each workshop's a little bit different. So not feeling at home within yourself, what does this feel like? And we're going to talk about these a little bit, but I don't want this little edit thing. There we go. Oh no, it came back again. Let's just move that there. Just fiddling around with all my boxes here. Okay, so sometimes this is us in our perfection down here. And then through life, layers and layers and layers build up, cocooning us, but not in a good way, from who we really are. And often we don't quite feel connected to us. And it's not just feeling disconnected on a physical level, but maybe on an emotional level as well. So sometimes this is kind of what I listed, and I want to see if it resonates with you guys. It can look like shyness and a difficulty expressing ourselves, what's really true for us, what's really the honesty and the truth, and following that lovely intuition. Because sometimes when we're a bit disconnected, not quite feeling comfortable and settled and grounded in our beings, and I'm not going to use the word body because this is going a little bit beyond the physical. So ultimately, I'm going to do a little diagram here. We are the personality consciousness with very long arms that the soul decides to incarnate into. The soul says, okay, I'm going to incarnate into this Antonia. I'm the personality. You're the personality, Sarah. You're the personality, Leilani. The conscious personality. But they're separate. So the soul is coming in and making itself at home in the conscious personality. And then we also have the ego, which is another part of our being, the ego mind that likes to limit us and keep us small. And it has a role. The ego plays a very, very good role. And it does it very well in keeping us stuck in limited beliefs and forgetting the truth of who we are. And ultimately, the soul is working through us in order to break the limits and transcend the ego to come back to the truth of who we are. So when I say not feeling at home within ourselves, sometimes this can just be a little bit of a disconnect between the soul and the conscious personality, like a separation. So yeah, this can look like a shyness, struggling to make clear decisions and take action. Who here can be a little bit indecisive? Well, I can. Not quite knowing what to do, not quite knowing what I need, and not quite trusting that I know what I need. It's a really big one. Yeah, Erica, I saw your thumbs up. This is a really, really big one. It's almost like, as I said, that little disconnect between the body and the soul. There can just be a little bit of confusion, a little bit of a lack of knowingness. And of course, I think maybe we're all familiar with this one. A lot of overthinking. over analyzing what's the safest decision is often the way we think, but we're not conscious of that. On the surface of our mind, we're always trying to figure out what to do. But ultimately, it always comes down to safety. Yes, Lynn, guilty of overthinking, overanalyzing. Yeah. And often, you know, our minds are trying to keep us safe in the future and protect us from things happening again from the past. And so it can be quite a tiring way of living this. And then we can be very, very easily overwhelmed and sensitive. And I'd also add with this one, we can be a little bit disconnected from our emotions. And these two kind of work together. And I don't know who here feels, because I definitely feel this. I'm incredibly sensitive and very, very easily overwhelmed. So much so that sometimes I don't want to feel. I don't want to feel all the emotions. I'll see a video on Instagram of, you know, a dog shelter and awful things happening to abused animals. I'll just have to completely disconnect because I don't want to feel. It's just a little bit too painful. I don't want to go there because I know I'm so sensitive and it's going to affect me so deeply. So I swing in a roundabout from being a lack of sensitivity and empathy to being completely overwhelmed and oversensitive. Yes, I see some nodding heads. And of course, we're here to really get very, very tightly acquainted with who we are. And we are here to come into our emotions in this lifetime. We are not here to avoid them. We've come to Earth to have a very, very deep emotional journey, because Earth is an emotional playground where we are here to feel the full range of what it actually is to have a human experience. And I'm going to tell you why that is. So now this is a slide I nicked from Nicholas said his name, Nicholas David Nunn, who I work for, who wrote the book, Your Soul Contract Decoded. And when I run the Divine Healing webinars, I use this a lot. So Source, God, the universe, lives in the 12th dimension. And Source wanted to experience itself. So it breathed out and created all the other dimensions. And we landed in a band of frequencies called the third dimension, the material plane. But we carried a little bit of Source with us. This is the soul. We dropped all the way down in consciousness, all the way down, 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 you know, from the 5th to the 4th to the 3rd, all the way from the 12th, in order to have this human experience. Because God or the universe wanted to know itself. It wanted to experience separation. It wanted to see through the eyes that we're all looking through now, to have the experience of knowing itself, knowing all that it is. And so the purpose of life is to open our channel and reconnect all the high dimensional parts of ourselves and ultimately work our way back to the knowingness that we are Source. And one of the really painful ways of doing that is leaning, moving into our emotional body. Because we don't just have a physical body, we have an energy body, we have an emotional body, we have a spiritual body, and we're here to integrate and connect and embody all of us. And part of that, unfortunately, does mean tuning into all of the emotions and experiencing life in all its fullness, because we cannot go through life without grief. We're all going to lose people if we haven't already lost people that we love. We're here to experience the highest of highs and the lowest of lows. And often we don't want to do that. And so we can't fully embody who we are if we're not willing to fully embody the emotional journey as well. And sometimes this looks like, I don't really know how I feel deep down, but I just don't want to go there. It's a little uncomfortable. It feels a bit strange. I'll distract myself. I'll numb myself. I'll turn away. I'll do something different. And if we go into the soul contract energies about this, and then I'm going to let you guys maybe share a little bit if any of that connects. Let's look at some soul contract energies that might be connected to this. And I know you guys all know your numbers, but we will have a look on the on my system as well. So one of the biggest ones is the sevens. Now, sevens can have this feeling of it's not safe to be who I am. And by the way, if you don't have these numbers in your chart, but you still resonate with them, you probably have the imprint from your parents or their parents or their parents. And one of the sessions I do now is called ancestral karmic vow breaking, where you release the soul contract energies that aren't sitting necessarily in your soul contract, but they have been passed down the ancestral line. It's like we don't have enough with our own soul contract, but we've got to have our parents and their parents. So when we're talking about ancestral healing, I think we all can maybe recognize certain energies that comes down the ancestral pathway on the maternal line and the paternal. So I know on my maternal line, me, my mum, and my granny all have sevens and nines. And me and my dad and all of his dads going back, maybe 3 or 4 generations, I got all of their names. We all have 5s and 8s. So when I did this ancestral karmic vow break, we cleared some 8s and it was very heavy. But going back to the 7s, so I was just saying that in case you don't have these numbers, but you're like, wait, they ring a bell. 7s can often not feel safe to be themselves in this lifetime. This is due to the emotional heartbreak that they often experience as a child. This could be something like emotional abandonment, not feeling the love from a parent, maybe something happening when you're 1 year old and you were left outside, or you were taken to hospital and no one checked up on you. There's all sorts of things that can create emotional heartbreak when we're very little and very vulnerable. And so often we want to hide who we are, and we don't really want to express who we truly are to keep ourselves safe. But when we're not expressing who we truly are, we can't fully embody who we are. So again, that creates that disconnection. And that's why I put it on there. Does anyone have a 7 in their chart that kind of resonates with that a little bit? Yeah, Leilani, you have it in your physical karma, I think, don't you? Do you have it in a physical karma?
It's in my legal name. It's not in my birth name.
When did you?
Yeah, I don't
when did,
remember. When did I what?
were you going by that legal name from birth?
No, from age 13, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, 13 to 25, 24.
Did
So
when you
long
were,
time.
yeah, long time. I was going to say from the ages of 13 to that, did you feel that 7 energy play into your life?
Yeah, I definitely became more shy that time. Well, I feel like I was always kind of a shy kid, but I definitely struggled more to fit in around that time period. I'm actually gonna look right now. I don't know if it was in my karma or goal.
Oh yeah, have a
Oh,
look
it's
and let
actually
me
my
know.
talent.
Oh yeah, so even if they're in our talents, they can still be having their effect. So yeah,
Yeah.
accepting that. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Sarah, were you gonna share?
Not with a 7, no, but I'm interested to know whether it's in my married name because that's definitely something that's come up.
Oh, we can have a look. We can have a look.
And
And this is why we get the old soul contracts up in the workshop, because there's nothing like getting in there in the present. So hold fire a second. Are you happy, Sarah, for me to pop
yeah,
them in here? Okay, perfect. So what's your married name?
it's Webster.
Okay, I can spell that one. Perfect. Let's have a look. Oh, no, we've got me in there as well. We don't need to see me. I know much. Let's have a look. So even though your birth soul contract carries the core energy, common names carry an energy and married names carry an energy because the soul is moving that way. The soul started with the core soul contract, and then by design, we have the names that carry on with I hesitate to call them lessons, but the learnings, the growth. There's a nice 7. Oh, it comes up again. So the soul was like, okay, we're going to keep working on this lesson when you're married. feeling
Yeah.
safe to be your true
Now
self.
I'm getting divorced, so
Hey, did
yeah.
you interesting. So when we look at the married name, 17:8 is actually about coming out of soul suppression.
Wow.
And eights are about learning boundaries. And 17s are about speaking up. So are the fives.
Yep. Well, I've had to do that. That is for sure.
Yeah, and you got those big eights, and I can see eights are a little bit of a theme. Eights are very much here to move away from tiptoeing on eggshells around people and come into, oh no, this is my space, this is my emotional well-being, and I'm here to put up boundaries against people who come in and take my peace away from me.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a nice 10-1 masculine energy coming in there, which is the challenge of the masculine. You know what's really interesting with your chart? You've got all these 13 fours. How beautiful.
No, that's what I found so weird, that I still have the 13-4 even with my married name.
Yeah, your soul is just like, I want that energy in my lifetime. And the 13-4 is we call this the Christ consciousness energy. It's very soft, very feminine, very beautiful. You know, when you were like, oh, I don't know what I really should be doing, in a very broad sense, 13-4s are here to use their divine femininity within them to share and to teach and to support and to help others. And the thing that I use with the 13-4 is you are here to become the pool of nourishment that people come to drink from. It's very beautiful, but and in order to move into that space, you're here to soften any toughness, exterior toughness around the heart, and to really soften into that divine feminine that your soul embodies.
And it's quite interesting. So whichever one you said was the masculine energy in my married name, that one, very much like my husband was a good man, is a good man. But he very much had his own issues that he needed to deal with. And I felt as though I had to step more into my masculine energy, which wasn't ideal, but
yeah,
that's what happened.
Oh, and I'm sure there'll be some nice clashing energies between you. Yeah, you are ultimately in this marriage here to step into yourself and find your direction, find your core values, overcome any suppression of your being, step into your boundaries and assert yourself and speak up for what you need.
Wow.
Yeah, the soul doesn't lie. We're going to come back to your chart because there's more juicy stuff to unpack there, Sarah. We haven't finished yet. But yeah, so the sevens, you've got them. Yeah. So yeah, the more we can express and feel safe to be our very, very authentic, integrated self, the more we are actually going to feel at home in who we are. Now, the other thing that completely disconnects us from who we are is when we experience disempowerment. So a lot of souls, pretty much all of us, I think, come into this lifetime to remember our sovereignty and remember our power. And I think we're used to hearing the word power as a very masculine, dominating, asserting over others kind of energy. But my definition of power is just knowing our ability to do something. And it's that beautiful inner strength. But often we go through life having experiences where we learn how other people abuse their power, and we think, well, we don't want to be like that, and so we will shrink away from that power. Power is a bad thing, it's a dirty thing. I shouldn't step into my power. If I do, I'll be seen, I'll be punished. And ultimately we are actually here to overcome that disempowerment and reconnect to that power, like reconnecting to a battery pack within us. Because believe it or not, all the tough experiences we've gone through are the things that make us incredibly strong and incredibly powerful. And we're here to come back to that knowingness within. It's really interesting. Just speaking about this, I did a reel about, it was kind of a jokey skit on Instagram. Maybe that's one you saw, you saw, Sarah, about the yeah, being in the incarnation waiting room. But it has triggered a few people in the comments who are like, I didn't ask for this and I didn't ask for that. And it's a really, really, really strong thing. But I would say when we go through really tough challenges, we normally do have nines in our soul contract. And it's not like our soul specifically asked for those awful things to be done to us, but it did want to experience disempowerment so it could step back into its power. And I think all of us have that big question of, why do awful things happen in the world? Why do so many people suffer? My gosh, I do not have that answer. But in terms of my very broad understanding, it's to an extent by choice we did come to earth to experience disempowerment. How that disempowerment happens, I don't know the rhyme or reason within it. But the more disconnected we are from our power, the more disconnected we are from ourselves, ultimately. And so with our nines, we are actually here to come out of the victim mindset. I've got nines. I own up to being a massive victim sometimes. Poor me. Why does this happen to me? Oh my God, life's so tough. I completely come out of gratitude. I'm not even there. I'm just in that complaining, moaning, life is hard. I know we can all be there. That is disempowerment living and breathing through us, bringing us into that energy. And it's quite a tough one to step out of and observe, speaking from experience. Okay, we're going to talk about this in a minute. The other one I wanted to bring our attention to is the 12-3 and the 3-3. Now, on the previous slide, a way that we sometimes don't express ourselves is usually because of a shyness, a lack of confidence, a lack of worth, a lack of knowing how we really feel in order to then express it. And from experience, this comes from this energy. Does anyone have that lovely 12-3, 3 years?
I've got 3-3.
Oh, welcome. Leilani has 3 3s. Lynn has 3s. Now, Melina, let's just pop your chart in because I can't remember. Because I know you don't have it to hand. So let me put it in. Bear with me. Let's just move these, get this in here. I don't remember if you have it in there. Melina Palmer. There we go. Okay. You've got a 21-3. So with your 3, with everyone with 3s, and I've got them as well, do you ever feel like you can't quite get to the feeling within you? Almost like you know there's something off. You don't quite know what it is. And it can feel really disorientating and frustrating. Like there's something just under the surface. And you're like, I know I feel off. I know I feel unhappy. I know I feel disconnected. But I don't know why. Yeah, this is welcome to the world of 3s. 3s, this is a symbol. 3s are here to go really deep into themselves. They're here to listen and they're here to speak and express themselves. But ultimately, initially, before we come into the positive energies of the 3, we can be a bit numbed out. We can't really feel what's under the surface because ultimately we sometimes don't really want to. So the reason we numb out, the reason we distract ourselves, the reason we get into addictions, the reason we don't lean into the hard things, because we don't want to feel the discomfort underneath. And the discomfort for the 3s is, oh my gosh, I don't really feel worthy to be here. I don't really feel worthy to speak. I don't really feel good enough to do what I came here to do. And it's a very, 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 very deep feeling that sits right in the core of the 3 expression. And so 3s will run around being busy. They will distract themselves. They will scroll around on Instagram and Netflix. They will get into all kinds of situations in order not to sit still and feel any unworthiness that is settling underneath them. And again, as I said before, when we're not really truly feeling how we're feeling, we are not fully integrating and embodying and taking up the full space of this residency. And I just caught sight of my incredibly sweaty hair. Sorry, everyone. Don't quite know what to do with it. I'm just going to leave it there. I might fan myself at some point. So does anyone relate to that 3? It's quite a deep one. It takes a, yeah. It can take a little bit of time, this one. 3s are really here to come out of hiding and feel worthy to be seen and feel deserving of taking up space. It's a really, really big one. Oh, Erica, do you want me to just have a quick look? I don't have to share my screen for this. If you don't want me to, just let me know. So I know you didn't want to be on the camera. Just pop me a message if you're... Okay, perfect. Let's look at Erica's chart because might be in your common name, Erica. Now we're looking at all the charts. Now, I do know Erica has some 9s hanging out in there. Ooh. And lots of 7s.
Wow.
All the 7s. So no, you don't have 3s, Erica. But I find 3s and 7s like to have a little bit of a party together. So I've got them both in my chart, but they're kind of similar. The 3s want to hide because they don't feel worthy, and the 7s want to hide because they don't feel safe. Normally, the 7s don't feel safe because of what they've gone through and disempowerment.
I know, sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Sarah.
I know that it's obviously done differently because it's done in our name, but just what you said there, my birthday is actually the 7th of March. So I know that's like...
Your birthday's a 7-3.
Yeah, so that was... I don't know whether that has any correlation at all with it. But
Technically it doesn't. But yeah. I find that whenever people book a soul contract reading, they tend to book the date that has a very, very strong frequency in their chart. Say they pick to do their reading on the 8th of June, and their dominant vibration in their chart is the 8th. So I always believe and trust in these divine synchronicities when they present themselves, because it's always a lovely reconfirmation. You know, this world is completely magical. And I use magic in the most expanded way possible because there are so many things happening that we cannot even begin to imagine within us. Our body is magic, the way it's just running. Our heart is beating. What makes a heart start to beat? You know, what is making me speak? We never sit and think about it, but it's absolutely wild, the magic we experience. So yeah, I believe in that. Long story short. So yeah, while you don't have 3s, Erica, you do have the it's not really safe to be here. Strong 7 energy. Don't want to be here. It's not safe to be here. And I know we've talked a lot about this before. I know how this resonates with you. But Erica has a lot of love to give. And she supports people beautifully in her work, in human design. She gave me a wonderful human design reading. And yes, anger at conception. Erica had anger at conception. That's the 6s. Frustration, anger, what the hell? But ultimately, as I was saying, human design, astrology, and soul contract reading are a beautiful triage to give you a lovely, deep understanding of who you are. They complement each other perfectly. Very, very beautiful. So I'm a Leo, a projector, and my charts are all 7s and 8s and 3s and 9s, and 9 is Leo. So yeah, Erica, we'll leave your chart up there. Anger at conception, I love that. Okay, so the last one, 14-5. Who am I? Who am I? The 14-5 energy, again, if it's not in your chart, then, but you're really resonating with it. It might be an imprint. I have it in my common name. 14/5s are always seeking to know who they are. And so they will go through life having a lot of intense experiences in order to try and understand themselves, because every person that we interact with, including all of you interacting with me and me interacting with you, you are just a mirror of consciousness for me. I am source looking at you as source, and I am understanding myself more as I'm speaking and looking at you and talking to you and engaging with you. And I think it's working the other way around as well, because I have a 14/5 in my common name as my physical talents. 14/5. 14 is a multidimensional mirror, always reflecting. Does anyone have this in their chart? Leilani, where do you have it in your chart?
It's in my birth name in the soul goals.
Ooh, is that your as spelt or your phonetic?
I think it's in both of them. I have so many names. Oh wait, no, it's only in my birth name as spelled.
Okay, let's have a look at that. So if you have a non-English name, sometimes it sounds a little bit different, and the characters, the way we do the soul contract reading, needs to be changed and adjusted a little bit. So if you have a non-English name, you have 2 soul contracts usually, but I don't tend to go into that work too deeply because I find the as spelt resonates so deeply with people. Okay, hang on a sec, just moving things around. Okay. There it is, spiritual goal. And this, they often come as a pair, the 14/5 and the 15/6. Quite intense. Do you find that life can be a bit intense?
Oh yeah, I've always felt that as I was a kid. I'd find myself just connecting up and be like, why am I here? I want to go home.
Yeah, super strong. And you know, the way that we understand ourselves, ultimately, as I said, we come down to earth, we get our ticket, and we come down to remember who we are, come back into sovereignty, remember we are multidimensional masters. But often the way through into that lovely art for remembering is through relationships with people and the emotional journey that those relationships bring up in us. So, for example, Sarah, your relationship with your ex-husband, soon-to-be ex-husband, was very purposeful and purposefully designed by your soul in order to step into that 5 energy of an 8 asserting self and coming into your truth and your power. And Leilani, I'm sure you can resonate with that. Do you find that the more you interact with people, the more you get a deeper understanding of, oh wait, I know who I am, or it's hard to phrase it though.
I feel like it depends on the relationship. Lately I've been very like selective of kind of who I keep close, and I feel like the people I do keep close, they reflect a lot of like I learn a lot of myself through them. But yeah, I definitely feel more sheltered from the outside world. So maybe it's because I feel the intensity too much and I want to close off. Not quite sure.
Oh, those be your 8s.
Oh.
Oh yeah, the 8s. So all the numbers kind of play, they have a party together in the chart. They never work in isolation. Those 8s will be retreat, retreat, retreat. It's too intense. Yeah, 100%. Oh, we're going to come on to the 8s now, which are, gotta say, my favorite number in the soul contract system. Yeah, so 14/5, and we're going to talk about the 5s in the next one. Oh my God, who the hell am I? I'm not used to being here. I'm used to being spirit, moving around on the astral plane. And now I'm in a body, and yeah, it can feel really disorientating. Okay, so I don't feel at home on Earth. You guys resonated more with this one, so let's see how it clicks for you. So, and I feel like changing color, so we're going to go with yellow. Okay, so this is just what I kind of tuned into, not knowing where you belong. Now, this is almost like, you know, we all watch Friends, the program, the TV show. I thought for a long time, oh my God, I should have a friendship group like Friends. I should have, you know, I should be meeting people all the time. I should be living how society is kind of telling me to live, but I don't really belong in those groups for some reason. That's just not where I belong. And my family, the family I was born into, my mum, my dad, my brother, social animals. They love parties, they love connecting with people, they love going out for dinner, they love meeting up with their friends. I tend to like my own company more. And if I meet up with people for a short while, I enjoy it. And then I want to go off and reset and be by myself. So I don't really feel like I belong in a particular group in society. And that can feel a little alienating, a little lonely sometimes. You feel like you're kind of floating on the outskirts. I don't know if anyone else feels that a little bit or a lot. And we can have friends. I've got friends. We all have, people we rely on. But sometimes we don't quite know where we belong. We don't quite. What I feel sometimes, this sense of separation, almost like you've got one foot in the real world, the 3D world. Yes, Lynn, what were you going to share?
Yes, I just wanted to say that for me, I don't even know where I want to live. Like that's how much, like I haven't resonated with a specific city or country. So I've lived in many, many different cities and countries. Um, and also once I went to see this healing lady like years ago, and she said she'd never seen this in her life. Like she said that my roots energetically were at my knees and they're supposed to be below your feet. I think I've changed, but I was seriously not grounded.
Yes, this is a really big one. I have to say I completely get that. I've never known where I wanted to be. The only thing that stops me moving more is fear. And I'm exactly the same. I've moved around all the time, my whole 20s, didn't know where to settle, didn't know where to be, moved houses, moved apartments, moved jobs. Oh yeah. Hey Lynn, let's just look at that because I think this is very much an 8 energy. Sometimes our external reality is just a reflection of how we're feeling on the inside. So if we're not feeling super safe to be, oh yes, I've got you, Lynn, I've got your name. We're not feeling super safe within ourselves or super comfortable or super settled, we're not going to feel settled anywhere else. It's like that feeling of, oh, I just don't want to be in my body sometimes. I don't want to exist. I don't know where to be. When you have those moments where you're just so overwhelmed, you just don't want to be, you don't want to be in here. So there are those 8s. Where should I be? Where should I belong? 5s also. So 5s can be very, very ethereal. This is the fetus, we call it, the shape. And I've got 5 sitting in my physical karma. And often 5s are here on earth physically, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, they're living up here. Like a fairy. Floating around, la la la. Yeah, 5s can be very, very, very sensitive and very like, oh my gosh, it's so much more fun being in here because 5s are not really used to this physical incarnation. They're not really used to being in their bodies. They're not really used to having to like ground things and make things real. So the goal of the 5s is coming from out of abstract, which is just floaty nothingness, into manifestation. So 5s can be really good manifestors when they use their voice and they speak things into reality. Anyone else got 5s hanging around in their chart? Sarah, you got any 5s in there?
I married one, 5 and 8, a lot of 8 and a lot of them, one set of 5s.
Oh yeah, I think for you because 5s and 8s were bringing you into your assertiveness because 5s are here to get very assertive and they're here to speak the truth. And often 5s find themselves in experiences which I wouldn't use abusive as too strong a word, but they find themselves in situations, work, relationships, families, where it's just very hard for them to speak up and speak things. Yeah. Lynn, did you experience that with your 5s being in situations where it just wasn't, you couldn't fully
Well, you're just reminding me all that when I was little, I always could tell if someone is telling the truth or not. And I would call them on it, especially adults. And I was told to keep quiet and
Yeah.
to stop saying such things. So it wasn't meant in an aggressive or negative way, but that they kept telling me to just stop saying that. But I would call on the people and then I just stopped eventually, I guess. I
Yeah.
can still do that today, but people don't want to hear the truth.
Oh my gosh, no, they don't want to hear it. And when you do speak the truth, people get very, very offended, very, very triggered. You know, I had a lot of beliefs in 2020 during COVID that were very, very different to all of my friends and family. And sure lots of us are nodding away. And when I went with my I wrote blog posts about it. You know, talked a lot about cognitive dissonance. When you go near people, everyone's got their bubble around them, and it's their safety, it's their matrix, it's what they know to be true. When you come near them with your pin, your pin of truth, your pin of consciousness, your pin of awakening, they will do everything they can to get you away from their bubble. So Lynn, they told you to be quiet and shut up. I got told, people ganged up on me on I left Facebook eventually, but people I went to school with were like really, really, really trying to keep me quiet. And that was very disempowering for me. I've got fives and nines as well. Again, fives and nines are incredibly powerful, but they sit on opposite spectrums of the power. Fives are the power of truth, and nines are more of a physical, raw soul power. But they're both very powerful, but different spectrums. But yeah, people don't want to know things that they are not ready to know. And imagine you as a little child pointing out all of their deepest truths. But they hated that. Yeah. Okay, so we've got where do I belong? Where should I live? And often when we don't feel at home on earth, we can isolate, we can hide, we can not want to interact with people, we can maybe feel energetically invisible to the world. And maybe you've experienced this in the past, you're experiencing it now still. And I don't know if this resonates, but as I said, a little bit of a lack of community can feel really strong. And ironically, the more we feel at home within ourselves, especially overcoming the sevens that, oh, it's not safe to be you, or fives, you shouldn't speak the truth, or threes, you're not worthy of expressing yourselves. The more we connect with who we are in ourselves, the more we can actually connect with who we are on earth in this incarnation. It's almost like the deeper we get to know ourselves and dig things up into our awareness, the more we can feel a bit more settled in who we are, and that is reflected in our external reality. Absolutely. I didn't know who I was in my 20s. I moved around all the time, lived abroad, traveled, moved jobs, moved houses. And now I feel very settled, actually. But I still would like to live somewhere hot and sunny. Ironically, it's hot now, but I don't like it. It's too muggy. Melina, I can see you just sort of gently sweating and melting in the corner. No, you feel my pain. So yeah, we can really struggle when we don't feel like we belong here to connect with people, to exist like everyone else. And I don't know if you guys have had that. You know, I said earlier, like this sense of like, well, everyone else just feels like they're living normally and they're just like doing things. And why can't I live normally? Why do I have to be on this spiritual awakening, raising my consciousness, healing journey? It's so tiring. Has anyone else felt that? Yeah. I feel really challenging and really exhausting. But it's ultimately what your soul wanted to do. And the soul is very powerful. And in the car, this is our car, and this is the steering wheel. But for most of our lives, the ego mind is in control. And then at some point the soul steps up and says, hey, I'm gonna take over now. And it goes for it. And it can be quite full on, quite tiring. It's why people, talk about spiritual awakenings or breakthroughs or healing journeys. A lot of highs and a lot of lows. It's not meant to be soft and gentle, sadly. So not feeling at home on earth. We're going to go into the soul contract energies with this one because this is quite strong. And I'm not going to start in order. I'm going to start with the 10-1. So now, Erica, did you have a 10-1 in your chart? I can't remember. Yes, you did. Oh no, I'm looking at you, Lynn. Sorry, couldn't see the names there. So the 10-1, Lynn, we're going to use you as an example. The 10-1 is, I would say, godlike energies coming down. This is the godlike energy, this movement of spirit coming down and having a human experience. And initially, that can feel like, whoa, I don't really belong here. Who am I? Like, I don't really, what is this? It can feel very, and I don't have this energy. And to be honest, this is the hardest energy for me to connect with because I don't have it in my chart. I don't have it in my family. It's not a strong resonance with me at all. But often people with this are learning to relate to others and relate to the world and ultimately relate to themselves as spirit. But it can just feel really strong. So I don't know if anyone has this 10-1. Oh, Leilani, do you want to share a little bit about how it shows up for you? Let me pull your chart up. It's best.
Yeah. Something I've learned with the 10-1, it's a lot of like the issues with the masculine. I've always felt that with my dad. We just clashed a lot. And I think that combined with my 17-8 in the karma, it was a lot of just suppression, feeling angry at like men.
Yeah.
That's how it showed up for me.
Oh, absolutely. The masculine is a really big one with this. And often we have a lot, and this comes up a lot in divine healing sessions. We have a lot of blocks to reconciling our relationship with, I call it God or goddess, the masculine or feminine universe, because in our kind of binary understanding of things, we often give things a gender. It helps us understand, and ultimately it's the dad and the mum. And often we have a lot of things to work through with our relationship with the father, with the mother, the masculine, the feminine, the god and the goddess. And we have lots of blocks to actually connecting with any one of those. And it's a chart, it comes up all the time in divine healing. So often, yeah, if there's a 10-1, it's about reconciling our relationship with the masculine, with the father, and with God, and within us as well. And 10-1s often try and work really hard. They can be a little perfectionist, a little bit self-critical, and they're very much here to soften out of self-criticism and relax. Lynn, you've got it as well. Both of you have it in physical karma. So yeah, it's a really, really strong energy, but ultimately 10-1s can feel like outsiders. And this is why I put it in here. They can feel like it's a high frequency energy, and they're coming in with this godlike energy, masculine energy in them, and they're learning to reconcile with it and use it and find balance with it and land within it with integrity, because 10-1s can abuse power. We all can. The 10-1 energy, you might see it in people who, I always find the 10-1 energy comes into like people at the top tiers. I don't really tend to look at people's charts unless I have permission. But you would see it in people like in corporate, in like very, very, very tough industries. Maybe people in relationships, narcissistic energies that can show up in. It's not to say you're a narcissist if you have this energy, no way. Because these people are here to be of service.
Something interesting someone told me about a 10-1 in a karmic position is like they will really struggle with like typical 9 to 5 jobs. So it's interesting that you see this in corporate settings.
Corporate settings, you normally see, or people who are very into, say, I don't know, billionaires or people, you know, who have trodden on people to get to where they are, you would see probably karmic 13 fours. There's not enough love, there's not enough money, I must get more. 10 ones out of integrity, 22 4, which is kind of like abuse of their power that they have within, and nines. Well, we're going pretty gnarly into that into that direction, but thank you for sharing. But ultimately 10 ones are here to be of service, but they come into their power when they come into their integrity, and they come into that divine masculine within them as well, that balance. And then of course we've got eights, high frequency souls who can feel completely trapped on earth. I don't want to be here is the core theme with the eights. Now let's just have a look. I know we've got some eights hanging around. Well, Leilani, you've definitely got some eights. Melina, I feel like you have some eights in your chart. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Showing up here. It's in a talent, which is, you know, but talents can still be a little bit tricky. Eights are, they can be really soft or really tough, the eight energy, I find. I know people with eights who can have quite a tough exterior, because they're just like, nope, not going to deal with it, not going to go into the emotions. As I said right at the beginning, that sensitivity can be so overwhelming that they just shut it off. So then the eights can be absolutely working up here and completely numb here downwards. Don't want to feel, don't want to connect to my body, don't want to ground, don't want to be on earth. Because the core message with them is I don't want to be here. And every behavior and pattern built on top of that is built on that. Which is ironic, because eights are here to create heaven on earth. Eights are here to absolutely create peace and love and be at peace and be in that energy of love, which is what I would call heaven on earth. But again, they're on an emotional healing journey. And then the fives, as I said earlier, very ethereal souls, absolutely not used to being in the body, can be very ungrounded, very heady. And they're really here to manifest into reality. They're here to manifest their reality on earth. And they're very inventive and pioneering and forward-thinking energies if they land, if they connect and allow them to come through. That's the challenge with fives. They'll be all floaty and heady, and they need to be very focused and trust in what's coming through them, make it manifest. And then we've got the 11 twos. Erica, you've got those 11 twos as well. I think most of you guys have 11 twos. Yeah. 11 twos, highly sensitive frequencies. You can feel a little bit lost in life. 11 twos are sensitive because they might have gone through quite traumatic experiences in this lifetime. That kind of changes their perception of who they are, builds their values. They can feel a little bit of lost in life because they're here to create structure. This is the symbol of the 11. They're here to learn structure and emotional resiliency. And so the way it's connected to not feeling at home on earth is 11s are actually here to build. They're builders. They're here to build their value system, because remember, everything internally creates externally. So we create what we have created within us. So if we're feeling a bit lost in life, a bit, where do I belong? Where do I land? Of course, that's going to be reflected externally. And so the emotional resiliency comes in of, I can depend on myself. I can be emotionally resilient. I can be strong. I am strong. It's very beautiful energy, the 11 twos. They're here to support others, but first they must support themselves. They must learn to lean on themselves, rely on themselves, become really dependent on that inner core of strength within them. And very intuitive, all of these numbers. And this is why they're all on this slide. All of these are high frequency, intuitive energies that can feel like they've landed somewhere that they don't know how to connect. They don't know how to ground here. They don't know how to feel at home here, at peace here. because ultimately they're here to follow their truth, come into the body and ground, especially the emotional journey that we're all here to be on, relate to others and relate to themselves, and become very grounded. This is a spiritual journey, the 10 ones. You're here to become very spiritually grounded through practice, through whatever connects you to spirit, nature, animals, relationships, good food. It can be anything. Everything is spiritual. Everything. It doesn't have to be meditation. And then the 11 twos are here to build and create for themselves. Oh, I spoke a lot. Does anyone want to, is anything coming up for anyone that they want to share, or anything that particularly resonates? Or is everyone just feeling, just breathing it all in? Yes, Lynn.
So, okay, so I have all those numbers. So it's true that I struggled a lot. But my question to you is, once we sort of heal or overcome those struggles, then I guess that's where there's power as well. Is that correct? Like it's not just always feeling out of place.
No, absolutely. No. That is such a good point. So with each soul contract number, it's a seesaw between the challenge and the potential. So even though we call it in the soul contract karma, we might call it lessons, we might call it, something that, oh, I must learn, I must suffer, I must struggle. No, your soul actually chose the challenges, say of yours, Lynn, of 5s, 8s, 10 ones, 11 twos, all of the shabams, in order to move through it and step into the potential of the numbers. And the potential of the numbers is just as powerful and strong as the challenge. And the potential of the 11 too is to create, to be an absolute creator, to have that beautiful knowingness of who you are, to depend on yourself, to become incredibly resilient and reliant on yourself. The 10-1, ultimately, you're here to find that beautiful balance between over giving and giving too much to others, and letting go of that criticism and coming into that lovely balance of, I am perfect as I am. I do not need to criticize and try and be perfect, but I am here to be of service, and stepping into that role of, well, how can I serve? Very beautiful. And the 8s are actually, as I said, you are absolutely here to come into your emotions and use those to connect with people. So the more you connect with yourself emotionally, the more you are able to beautifully connect with others around you. And that creates harmony, creates harmonious relationships with people around you and the life that you're living. And the more grounded you are in your body, the more grounded you are on earth, the more at peace you feel being here. And with the 8s, the 8s, so the 5s, the 5s are ultimately here to really connect to their intuition and their creativity, because you're not just a dreamer like me with my 5s and you guys with your 5s. We're not just dreamers floating around. We are, our vision is huge. And that vision is the thing that needs tightening and bringing through us, because 5s are inventors and 5s are pioneers and 5s are truth seekers. So it's a truth seeking journey that you're on. But in order to come into that truth seeking journey, you have to know what isn't true. You have to have your, we have to experience when our truth has been told that it's wrong. When our truth has been told that, oh no, you're not intuitive, you silly little girl. We were probably all told that. And 5s are here to use their truth in a way that comes through them directly. And I don't know what that is for you. Does that help, seeing the potential?
Yes, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, because it's not all, I know it feels that way. It can feel so heavy and challenging having these experiences. But I always joke about this. We're here for a whole lifetime, and we just do our best to work through what the soul has given us to work through. And I think everyone is doing beautifully, because the fact that you are turning up and willing to get to know yourself is a hell of a lot more than most people. And so you're absolutely in the right place, 100%. What I always say is, oh, loads of things I haven't had time to do, but it just doesn't matter. How do we heal? But I say the word heal. How do we feel at peace within ourselves? We need a willingness and desire to take responsibility. We come out of victim mindset and into the observer of our experiences. We identify the issues. We become very familiar with ourselves. And we bring consciousness to it and feeling to it. We don't repress it, we embrace it. And we're not really letting things go when we're healing. We're actually integrating them in. So we come back into wholeness. I mean, we're letting go of the sticky stuff, the heavy stuff. But that's all the stuff that keeps us separated from ourselves and disconnected from ourselves. And we integrate through accepting ourselves, embracing ourselves, and ultimately loving ourselves. And that's what healing is. And we heal through our relationships. We heal through, healing sessions. We heal through reading. We heal through nature. It's one long healing journey. But what I will say, and this is the one thing I'll finish on before we go into doing some divine healing. Often, I always say that we are the ship. And we're on the ocean. And the ocean is, we think we're in command. We think we're in control. But there are big currents. There are big swells. And I might have shared this analogy before. We're here to get very intimately acquainted with ourselves. So when those storms do come, we know to put a life jacket on. We intricately know every part of our ship. The more we know ourselves, the more we know when we're triggered. I know myself very well. When I stop going to the gym, I'm a stop starter with this. I know what it's about. I know where it comes from. It's a fear of burnout physically. And I go and work on it. And then I step back into, oh, I can go to the gym now because I have to clear that layer. It's a small example, but we take command of our lives. The more we know ourselves, the more we can take command of our vessel. We can't control life, but we can command ourselves. And that makes life a lot smoother sailing, I think. So does anyone want to share anything before we go into doing what we came here to do, which is to do a little bit of healing all together as a group? Are we all ready for that? We'll chat at the end anyway. I feel like I've yabbered on. And I always find that I'm going to get you guys to get comfortable now. So you can just, I want you to lean back, lie down if you can. Oh, hi, Jenny. How long have you been here for? I've only just seen you.
Like, I don't know, 45 minutes maybe.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry you didn't show up on my little screen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to register. So I didn't get the Zoom link. And then I had to register because I was waiting, couldn't find the link. And then I was like, it took a while for the computer to just give me the email with the link.
Yes,
I'm
sorry, it's an
sorry.
automated thing. I'm sorry, I only have like a few boxes and I didn't see you. Welcome, Jenny. We're going to do some healing. So I'm sorry I didn't get to.
Don't worry, I've been listening. It's fantastic.
Perfect. Okay, so I want you guys to get lovely and comfortable. We may go a little over time. I'm sorry in advance. I do tend to do that. So lean back if you can. I want you to lean back off the vertical. So you're actually relaxing and coming into the receiving mind. And I want you to shut your eyes. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want to be. Believe it or not, that is actually sweat on my top. Oh, it's muggy here. Yeah, just get yourself comfortable. And I just want you to start breathing. And that's all we're going to do. I'm going to do a little bit of breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if we run over, which we will do, I'm sorry. If you need to leave, please leave. We'll finish just before the hour. So I want you to just in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we breathe out of the mouth to just start to land in the body. And just imagine that breath like the waves coming in to the shore and out. And as you breathe, I want you to just let go of what we spoke about earlier. Let go of what happened today. You can let go of what happened last week, last month, last year. And just start to soften into the present moment. You can also let go of what may happen in the next hour, the next week, the next month, the next year. And just lovingly let it all soften. And just start to feel a lovely wave of relaxation coming down from the top of your head, smoothing and softening and relaxing all the way down, softening your brow, your eyes, your jaw, softening your neck, softening and relaxing your shoulders, smoothing, softening, relaxing all the way down your upper back, your middle back, your lower back, softening, relaxing all the way down your torso. And that lovely wave of relaxation coming down each of your arms to your fingertips, and all the way down your torso into your sitting bones and hips. Each leg feeling lovely and heavy and soft all the way to the tippy toes. And I've already done the opening for this group, so we're not going to spend any time doing that. And I honestly don't know what we're going to do. It's always a joyful surprise. Oh, we're going to start with a pomander. A pomander is the little integration tool. You can take them physically, but in divine healing, we take things energetically. So this is something for the group. Let's see what we need. I'm getting 5. Coral, the awakener. This is protection for our spiritual being and gives us a sense of independence, bringing insight necessary for interdependence and bringing a deep sense of joy. So coral pomander, they smell lovely if you have them physically. And I'm also getting light coral, which is turning shadow into light. To love the parts of ourselves that we have given negative attention to. So turning shadow into light, welcoming deep joy and liberation, an awakening of the Christ consciousness energy, which is that 13-4. This is for that hypersensitivity and that shadow energy. So let's put them both in. So I say the command and you just receive, and you might notice a feeling in your body, a sensation, a softening, a warmth. Or you might feel nothing at all, and that's okay too. There's no right or wrong way to receive in divine healing. So healing team, please encode the frequency of these 2 pomanders into all levels of this group's being, multidimensionally in the highest and best good, and for as long as it is required. Thank you. Now this chart comes up a lot on these groups, and it's grounding the light. So often we're going through a period of ascension anyway, and when lots of light is coming in to planet Earth and into our bodies, it can be really destabilizing. I know we did this last time because it is just such a needed one at the moment. And when this light comes in, it can cause a few symptoms. Oh, I'm really doing some nice little yawns with this already. So there's some spiritual effects. This is the first thing I'm getting. And some physical effects. This is how it's affecting all of us as a group, this light. Some DNA mutation, normal. Affecting us cyclically, so sleep or hormones. Some communication problems. And I'm getting that's enough from them. And the light is coming from the Christ consciousness grid. which is lovely. That number just jumped out at me, the Christ consciousness grid. Now we don't have to resonate with what this means. It's a bit beyond our rational mind, but this is the source of light, the Christ consciousness grid. So I will do the balancing, and I just want you to notice how it feels. We ask the healing team to balance and integrate these incoming energies and their effects in the highest and best good. We command the aligning of all energy bodies, chakras, meridians, nadis, cells, DNA, subatomics, and the light body to the new frequencies. We command the raising and frequency of the nervous and hormonal systems to fully accommodate the frequencies coming in so we can flow with the new consciousness with grace and with ease. We command the encoding of all appropriate frequencies required, be they mathematical, geometric, light, color, sound, or other at whatever level, to allow the integration and grounding of these new energies in our consciousness, our reality, our relationships, and our connection to the truth of the I am. Thank you. Just let that one integrate and settle. Oh, lovely. We're going straight into the light interaction, light activation of DNA. This is a beautiful meditation that comes up when it's really needed. And it can go lovely and deep. So, according to science, we only have 2 chemical strands of DNA which hold the blueprint of our individuality. But on a more spiritual plane, DNA is multidimensional. And so we have 10 dormant strands. And when we activate them, the totality of ourself can really be expressed. It opens up our spiritual and psychic abilities, speeds our growth and healing, and allows for greater levels of consciousness. And so this is a beautiful little activation meditation to give us deeper access to who we truly are. So I want you to allow your body to relax. Breathe in and out, letting go. And really relax your head, your neck, your spine, your arms and your hands. Breathe in and let go. Relax your diaphragm, your chest. Relax your abdomen. Relax your legs and your feet. And as you relax, allow your heart chakra to open. And visualize or feel your heart chakra opening with every breath. And I want you to set your intent to receive this light activation of DNA. So your DNA opens up to as many strands of DNA as appropriate, up to a total of 12 strands. And that all the changes are integrated with grace and ease. It's all with your intention. And now take your awareness to your pineal gland in the very center of your head. Maybe feel it or sense it, visualize it. Bring your intention there and allow your attention to focus on the master cell in your pineal gland. The key cell, the master cell. And see or sense the DNA in this cell, a coiled substance that holds the codes that keep you as you are. And I want you to open yourself up to the light language codes coming in from your healing team. You all have one. And the DNA surgeons. So you may feel, you may see, you may visualize, you may hear what these codes coming in feel like. There's no right or wrong way to feel them. Just allow yourself to open and receive. And allow yourself to open to grace. And as you do this, see or sense or feel your DNA activating to the required level. And as this happens, your divinity is activating in your every cell. Your multidimensional access is opening up. Your gifts, your creativity, your clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, your ability to heal yourself and express your divinity can be accessed more easily now. And allow the activation to spread from the master cell in your pineal gland to every cell in your body in a wave of relaxation and energization. And you may feel this as heat or cold or tingling, or maybe you'll see colors or lights or just a feeling. And feel the Kundalini energy in your sacral area becoming activated and moving up your spine, awakening consciousness and freeing up blockages. We've now completed this DNA activation, and you can step now into more of your divine human expression and allow this truth to radiate from you and to touch all those who you have ever met or known at any time or place, to travel up your ancestral lineage and down into your descendants in a sharing of grace. And we give thanks for that activation as we open up to all that we are. We're going to let that integrate for a moment. We're going to move into a chart called God Consciousness. As I shared earlier, we can have a disconnect from fully connecting with the masculine, the feminine, the father, the mother, or the god and the goddess, ultimately ourselves. And so the chart that's come up is usually how we feel separate from God, from the universe, from our parents. And the program that's come up that's relevant for everyone in this group is the program of I have wronged God. I have wronged the goddess. So I'm going to let you all resonate with that. It's going to resonate differently for each of you. And maybe you're feeling a pull towards I have wronged God, or maybe it's I have wronged the goddess. Or maybe it's just, I have wronged source, I wronged the universe. Allow yourself to tune into which one feels resonant for you. And just notice how this program is operating in your life. How does it resonate? Do you resonate with it? I have wronged God. I have done something wrong. I have wronged the goddess. It's very connected to our relationship with our parents, as well as the universe, the father and the mother. So allow yourselves to connect with this in a way that feels resonant to you. This is often a very deep program that creates a lot of disconnect in our lives. So I love that it's come up. So how does this resonate for you? How is this belief showing up in your life? How is it operating? How is it holding you back? Keeping you stuck, keeping you small? And how does it feel? I want you to really allow yourself to open up to the feeling. Maybe you feel something in a part of your body. Part of your body resonates as we're opening to this. Maybe there's a part of your body that this program is really living in. You can do a scan all the way down from your head to your toes. Or maybe you already know what part of your body resonates with this. And how does that part of your body feel? What's the energy like there? What's the color? What's the shape? Or maybe you don't have a feeling, but you have an emotion. As we're talking about this, there's a feeling under the surface that's wanting to come up and be felt. I invite you to bring it up into your consciousness to be felt. Notice if you have any judgment for having these feelings, these emotions, for having this program of I have wronged God, I have wronged the goddess. And you're doing a beautiful job of just bringing this up. And if there's an emotion there, just allow yourselves to feel it, connect with it, be aware of it, just wanting to be felt. Now, as you're all going to have a different original time for when this program was probably established, I'm going to do a generic command code to release the source of the program. We always want to find the time, but in a group, we do it this way. So, higher self, please clear 100% the core issue, the original cause, the source of its power, any energy attached, and all of its effects through all layers, levels, and dimensions right to the point of creation. Please balance, clear, and align all energy fields to enable higher levels of truth and consciousness to embody. Thank you. Oh, this is lovely. I'm going to do a little command, higher self. Which one do we want to do? Higher self, please squash all vows, beliefs in, and attachments to suffering. 100% through all levels, layers, dimensions, and timeframes. And keep the soul clear, aligned, and grounded. Thank you. You guys are going to repeat this one out loud. You're all on mute, so you can speak this out loud. So you're going to repeat after me. Higher self. Let me try and remember which one we're doing. Please liberate trapped energy in all my bodies to raise my vibration. 100% through all levels, layers, dimensions, and time frames. And keep the soul clear, aligned, and grounded. Thank you. Oh, that gave me a good yawn. Let's do a little chakra balance. Okay. Higher self, I command the thymus chakra to be cleared and balanced for greater conversion of higher dimensional energies. And that the changes are fully integrated multidimensionally. I'm going to do another one. Higher self, I command the link chakra, which sits below our base chakra, to be cleared and balanced for levels of extreme behaviors and fears of moving forward, and that the changes are fully integrated multidimensionally. Thank you. Ah, that's one more. Myself, I command the link chakra to be cleared and balanced for finding peace within and without. And that the changes are fully integrated multidimensionally. Thank you. So, I can't see most of you guys, but I'm going to tune in and I'm getting that we're going to release this God consciousness program of I have wronged God or Goddess, because it is a program. It's not real. Like a program that got slipped in to run in our reality in order to create more separation from source. So I'm going to pull the program out, I'm going to release it and integrate it back in. And so we're going to repeat a statement all together. You're on mute, so you're fine to speak it out loud. And you're just going to tweak the grammar a little bit, depending on whether you feel like I have wronged God, I have wronged the masculine, I have wronged the father, or the mother, the feminine, the divine, okay? The goddess, sorry. So you're going to say out loud, you're going to tune into your heart and speak these words with that lovely intention. I release all belief, perception, and judgment that I have wronged, and name who it is. God, for example. You do the same thing again. I release all need and desire to believe that I have wronged God or goddess, whoever it is for you. And we're going to say a little bit more. But first of all, I'm going to create a new statement for us to say. Because when we remove something, we fill in the void with something else. So the opposite to feeling wronged, technically feeling righted. We're going to infuse some innocence. I'm innocent and pure in this incarnation. I'm just having a little think about what it could be. I'm getting a few different things coming through. Not this one, it's not this one. So we always start a statement with I am. So I'm just going to feel into what it could be. Yeah, this is a very strong one for me. I am unconditionally loved and supported by, and it's either God, goddess, the mother, the father, the divine, feminine, or the masculine. So you guys again are going to put in what feels good for you. I am unconditionally loved and supported by. So we'll say that in a minute, and then you fill in who it is. So center into your heart and repeat after me. I now completely accept and believe and instruct my subconscious mind to believe on every level of my being that I am unconditionally loved and supported by, and name who it is, by God, for example. Just breathe that in, let it integrate. And then we're going to say all together again, higher self. Please bring into wholeness all aspects of me through all layers and levels, dimensions and realities, universes and time frames. Thank you. And last little bit, please repair the pathways to divinity to allow for full reconnection to an embodiment of the vastness that I am. And then we just say thank you. And we're just going to do a little integration for that. Just allow yourselves to feel how that's integrating. Notice how your body's feeling. And how lovely to finish. We're going to do one little intention all together. So just repeat after me. It's very purposeful what comes up in a session. So whoever it was for you, God or the goddess, the masculine, the feminine, the mother, the father, you're going to say what it is, and it's disconnection, for example, to God, disconnection to the feminine, disconnection to the father, whoever it is for you. So you're going to center into your heart and you're going to repeat after me. I no longer accept this disconnection to, and whoever it is, say for example, God, as part of my reality I command all its programs to be released immediately. I am here in this lifetime to ascend and no longer embrace the game of birth and death. I release all original thought form and emotion that created the manifestation of this issue, and command all the cells of my body to return to full health and harmonious state of well-being now. Thank you. And just let that settle. And just start to deepen your breathing. Start to just softly move your fingers and your toes, your feet and your hands. Have a little stretch. And then you can just gently come back when you're ready. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, how are you guys doing? How are you feeling? Anyone feeling like they want to share, or just happy, just letting it settle? I know I just pulled you out quite quickly because I was conscious of the time. Everything's very purposeful with this. Oh, Leilani, yes.
Yeah, I felt that was actually really interesting. For some reason, like visuals of dogs kept showing up. That's never happened in Divine Healing, and it was like all breeds. And I don't know if it was God reversed as dog.
Yes.
I don't know, but yeah, it was they were so random. They're like cartoon dogs, like 3D dogs, crazy like space dogs, all the types.
I love that. I have no idea. But oh my gosh, you know what? I have a feeling just let it settle and then just notice how you feel the next few days, because it might start to make a little bit of sense. Maybe you need to get a dog. Beautiful. Is everyone else feeling okay? Yeah. It's we went on a little bit of a journey with that one. I mean, I never know what's going to come up, but it's exactly what this group needed in this moment. Doing the God consciousness chart, which we just did, was very powerful. Oh yeah, thanks for sharing, Erica. Yeah, it's I have wronged God. Isn't that a strong one? My gosh. Yeah, very, very strong and very deep in the subconscious, that one. Because initially we might be like, I don't even resonate with that, but that's why I gave it a lot of space for you to connect with that. And I hope you did all connect with it in a small way. Yes, Lynn.
Yes, and I just wanted to say that was super powerful. I feel the energy the entire time. But what I really found interesting, I can't remember the exact sentence you said, but it showed me my overweight. And it made perfect sense with what you've been talking about, like since the beginning.
Yeah.
So I think you said something like, I now release, and then it said, you're ready to release this overweight. And I was like, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Lynn. Yeah, sometimes we can get a bit altered in sessions. We might remember like one word And then the rest of it is like, we don't know what happened, but something felt a bit shifty. And okay, thank you. We've gone a little bit over time. There's just one more thing I just wanted to quickly share before we finish is, so I've run it once and I'm going to run it again because I really enjoy it. And I know I said this last time. I run a 3-month healing container called White Opal. I don't know why I called it White Opal. I just did. I like the name. But it's starting on the 14th of July. And it's if you're in the UK, Tuesday, 4 till 5:30, 6-ish. Every 2 weeks, we do an hour and a half at least of a very deep group healing session like we're doing here today. Because group healing is very powerful and it's very beautiful, and everyone in the group is always very connected, the things that come up. And often we get to the stuff that sometimes we can't get to on our own, in the deeper in the subconscious. And ultimately, why do we do it? Well, why do we heal? So we can create that peace within us and that beautiful relationship. I'm very passionate about this. And if anyone wants to join, it's on my website. Just pop me a message, anything like that. If you're not ready for that or it's not resonating, that's okay too. I wanted to share it with you because this is kind of my joy with this work. And I'm really excited to run it again. The last group, we had 3 of us in the group, and it was just really beautiful. Everyone on the same path, everyone connecting with the same things. And we talk a bit more, and we do a very deep healing, and then we talk at the end as well. So it's a bit more connecting than just me chatting away like on a webinar workshop thingy we're on. Okay, that's all I wanted to share. I know I didn't get to some slides, but they were a bit boring anyway. So does anyone got any final questions? Or is everyone like, it's hot, we've been going for 2 hours, I'm gonna tune out and relax now? I send hearts back. I don't know how to do it on here. Yes, I do actually. It's lovely to see you guys. I'm running my next workshop on the 29th of July, right before my birthday. So it'll be an extra special one. I don't know what it's going to be on yet. You're very welcome to come. I'll send you the recording and a follow-up email, and maybe see you guys next time. Okay. Oh, thank you, Leilani. Sending you lots of love. You guys can just exit and shoot off and go off and enjoy your afternoons. Bye 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 everyone.